Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Monday, March 31st, 2025. Okay, we're back on the beat, and the Nadine Menendez trial is continuing. We should be live tweeting it in a few short moments as it goes forward in the wake of Senator Menendez's conviction and now the delay of his surrender to prison for the trial, which he's not attending. Meanwhile, on Friday, Charlie Javice, after her long trial, was convicted on all counts, as was Olivia Amar. Now, some cynics are saying, could she wheedle a pardon beyond just trying to appeal on severance grounds? Trevor Milton of Nicola fame was pardoned last week, never spent a day in jail. So there's that. Meanwhile, of course, as you may have seen, last week we were covering the AP versus Trump, or actually versus Duravic case in D.C. about access to the Oval Office and to the East Room. We're on alert for Judge McFadden's ruling in that. Also, the request by the Trump administration to take Judge Boasberg's temporary restraining order on the flights of Tren de Aragua under the Alien Enemies Act to El Salvador and elsewhere. They've asked the Supreme Court to, on an emergency basis, vacate that TRO, which is now the plaintiffs, the ACLU representing those affected, have asked for a preliminary injunction. So we'll see how that one goes. And Mahmoud Khalil, as we reported Friday, the judge in New Jersey did not entertain even bail application. He's going to be ruling on jurisdiction, whether he keeps the case or sends it down to Louisiana, where Mahmoud Khalil is. There's also the South. There's a lot of cases, and we're following all of them. Meanwhile, back in the daily nitty-gritty of the Southern District, Friday afternoon, unannounced, not announced by the prosecutor's press office or anything else, a man named Duravic, Darko Duravic, was brought in on charges of conspiracy to commit kidnapping and murder overseas, and he was detained. We aim to learn more about the case. As of the time that we wrote the story, unexclusive, as of the time that we wrote it, there was no the docket, and the case was sealed. But being in the Mad Court, we reported on it. That's how we roll. Now, in kind of nitty-gritty VOSR, which is violations of supervised release, it's about 40% of the criminal caseload around here. People that out on supervised release commit or are alleged to commit violations. Judge Caproni had Stefan Telfair, former basketball star here in New York. I'm tying this into March Madness, where we're down to the final four. Stefan Telfair remains out, but he has various conditions set by Judge Caproni that he has to meet, or I guess he could be remanded. I think this is an ongoing back and forth. I think she has a lot of, she's gotten to know a lot of the players, many of whom she sentences basically to financial literacy classes, because they got sucked into filing false medical NBA insurance claims by one guy who was sentenced to 10 years. That said, the United Nations, it remains litmus test 2025, but Big Tony seems to be dodging the bullet, at least for now. Now, we've written more exclusives. The UN staff are coming forward hot and heavy, this time from Libya, where they allege that the entire UN mission, which is a fraud and a failure, is basically just a full employment for Lebanese officials game. You can find our story on that, and also on South Sudan, where the UN is really, while they should be trying to solve this incredible breakdown of the world's newest state, instead they're just trying to hold on illegally to a radio station and land by the airport and keep an old job for an old man. Too much. It's too much. And we like that old man, by the way. But the UN has to do better, and they won't until they're held accountable. And so we're going into the courthouse, but we remain fixed and watching all of these matters. Inner City Press, to be continued.